I'm Tinny from Mini Bull Design. It's right around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Finished early today. I didn't have a lot of stuff to build. I basically built lids and Titan disc, Moodoo legs, stuff like that. Fairly easy day. On the YouTube video I made yesterday, I got a couple of comments that really caught my eye. One guy suggested that I make the base, since it doesn't get hot, make it out of plastic to save weight. The other one was somebody suggested that I make the coil, the copper coil, out of aluminum. Now those two comments really, yeah, twing, good idea. So I went out after I got all done building. I probably spent a couple hours out there playing around with the stove. I made a plastic base and it worked fine. The only problem is that it's not that much lighter than the aluminum, because the aluminum you can make pretty thin. The plastic you can't thin it down too much. It doesn't have the strength. And since it has to accept the O-ring pressed down into it, you've got to keep it, like 1/8 of an inch or so to keep the rigidity. So there really was no weight savings there. And second off, if you spill alcohol on it and light it, it melts it pretty fast. Okay, so the plastic base, good idea, that just didn't work out that well. The idea for the aluminum tube, I got all ready to tool all up and make one with an aluminum coil in it. And I actually had some 1/4 inch aluminum, soft aluminum. So I'm all set. It was left over from the water heater project I did a long time ago. It's back on your continuous water heater thing anyway. I got thinking about it. I got ready to build it. Now, wait a minute. Let's do a little testing here first. So I fired up my copper coil stove and let it go up till it started to roar. And then I took a piece of aluminum and held it right down next to the flame. And in about 2 minutes, the aluminum melted. Just went ugh. So I'm really glad it didn't take a lot of time to build that, because if it had come up and roared like it was supposed to, it would have melted the aluminum. So that in itself opened my eyes, because most of my alcohol stoves never get hot enough to melt aluminum, and that one did. And that would explain why it'll boil 2 cups of 65-degree water in a Titan kettle in about 4 minutes. That's really a hot stove. You get a lot of heat for the amount of alcohol out of it. I think it's actually maybe more efficient than the wick stoves are. I was really impressed. But using that design with the aluminum base, the only way to find out where the weak points are in it is just keep firing it up and burning it. Just keep burning it. So I burned about probably a half a gallon of fuel through it so far. And the seal, what I thought was going to go first was the seal around the tubes is fine. Haven't any problem with that. But the seal where it seals onto the aluminum base, I've had problems with that. Those O-rings don't seem to be long-lived. Taking them apart and put it together, it started to leak there. And I fixed it and it started to leak again. It's not... there's something about it heating up and cooling has an effect on it. I'm having a hard time keeping and maintaining the seal there. And the third thing, which you could see in the video before we got here, was after I did it a while, after maybe 30, 40 burns, it doesn't come up and roar like it used to. And I've changed everything and it still just doesn't come up and roar. It'll roar, but it takes a long time. Resealed the base and everything. And when it does, it burns green, and it almost acts like I've done damaged the copper somehow, gotten it too hot or something, and it doesn't conduct heat like it used to. And I don't know that much about copper. Maybe one of you guys knows what I've done, but somehow I've damaged that copper, because it doesn't seem to be transferring the heat to the base anywhere near as well as it originally was, which makes for low performance. And it's gotten to the point at around 50 burns where it won't even come up and roar anymore, even though it's sealed right up and everything is tight, and I'm using the same alcohol. So I don't know. I'm going to have to go back, and I'm suffering from a little bit of burnout on stoves right now and building. So when I get over the burnout, I've got to go back and look the whole thing over, maybe build another one and start over again. But right now it looks like it's just too hot for itself. Now, if I ever get the time, I've got a couple more designs here that are fairly innovative that I will be working on. But right now, there's just too many irons in the fire. I'm really starting to have effects of success overload. You know, I'm building to my full potential, and I've got a lot of people that are leaving me nasty emails telling me that I'm not keeping the store stocked well enough for them, and they're not real happy with me. So I guess I'm a victim of my own success, but I'm going to continue to not put stuff in the store until it's physically built. I'm not going to load the store up with phantom items and then have to build them later. If it's in the store, it's in the drawers, and that's where I'm going to keep it. And, you know, if you want to buy a Moodoo and the legs aren't in there, well, that's because somebody bought them and I haven't had time to build them yet, you know. So I'm putting the stuff in just as I build it. If the other items that go with it aren't in there, that's because I haven't built it yet. If you don't want to buy something until you can get it all, well, you probably never will, because the chances of everything being in there at one time are pretty slim. So if you see an M6 in there and you want an M6, buy it now, because it probably won't be in there again for a month. And you'll just have to keep watching, and when the chance comes, buy the legs later. That's just how we operate. If the store was always stocked and there wasn't any limit on it, then I wouldn't be successful. Nobody successful is selling stuff like I am could have a store where you go in and click and order 1,000 items and it comes right up in your cart. No, that's not a sign of success. That's a sign that you're not selling anything. So that's where I am. And like I said, if I'm a little subdued, I'm just burned out. Happens every now and then. What I'd really like to be doing right now, I'd like to be somewhere where it's really warm, backpacking with 4 other people, all good guys. I want to be the guy in the back. I don't want to be the celebrity. I want to be the guy in the back, just following the other 3 guys, just trying to keep up, just backpacking, sleeping in my hammock at night, low man on the totem pole. That's what I'd like to be right now. Some good warm place, just doing some backpacking and interacting with some other hikers. At least 4 other people. That's my fantasy. Like that's going to happen. So I'm Tinny from Mini Bowl Design. Get out and hike. Take a friend. Enjoy the great outdoors. And more important than anything, try to have a really great day. Bye-bye.